Okay, Clay's inside Big Lots, paying for the frozen dirt that we just got, which is a good deal. It's only $8 for dirt for Scott's and Miracle Grow. And I guess there's smaller bags of Scott for 5. So we felt like it was a better buy than at Walmart, just to get some of our seedlings started. Here he comes now. Here comes the man now. I said we paid $8 for our frozen dirt.
Yeah, but it's Miracle Grow. So
yeah, that's what I said. It's goodbye. So
and you got to get it while you can, because they're not going to be buying any more of it.
And they're not having any trees at Big Lots
They're
or flowers.
not going to be doing the flower or the gardening stuff anymore. They said.
None at all.
That's what he said, wasn't it?
Well, he said no flowers or any of that. They'll have dirt all year though.
Oh, okay.
But no flowers or trees, which I love buying.
2 cubic feet bags, and that's pretty good because the other bags were $8, and they were Scott's, and they were just potting soil.
This is potting soil, isn't it?
No, this is garden soil. This
Oh,
has got all the
okay.
nutrients and everything for the plants to start up.
Oh, okay, because I looked at one that said potting soil. I thought, oh, does he know we bought potting soil? And so there's our Tractor Supply, the Big Lots. So we've been running all over the city of Auburn today. And we
were here all day yesterday.
We did make hair appointments though, to get our hair done, to get new dues. So that's.
All right, I've got to move these.
So he's moving everything around. We spent most of the day hunting and waiting for stores to open because.
Okay, I got to watch my bulb doesn't get busted. I think I just put it right in the cooler with the
Ice cream.
Ice cream, so it doesn't get banged around.
And Clay started feeling really lousy.
That's the sugar.
And so I said, honey, that's sugar.
Hang on to that, dear.
So
Thank you.
he has the high sugar, so we had to stop and get him something to eat. Uh-oh, that dirt's pretty heavy. Do you need a hand?
No, I just got to be able to get it up and out. There.
It's like carrying a big frozen brick, is it?
It's frozen, that's for sure.
How much is that? How much does it weigh?
I would say at least 60 pounds.
60 pounds of a brick. The manager was really sweet. He came out and helped us find the pricing because I didn't want to take a chance of buying the wrong thing.
I didn't want to drag it in the store and then have to drag it back out of the store.
So I'll push the cart up. You can hold on to the camera and talk for a minute.
That weight is 57 pounds.
Here, there's the
Told you
camera's
it's
on. Camera's on. The camera's on. You don't have to record me because I'm a mess.
I'm recording you because you're a mess.
I'm going to change my hairdo and get a new skinny bob.
And this should be the last of our running today. Hopefully we get home and there'll be a few calls for those silkies and we can get back underway. Come along, dear. Just dropped something. You just dropped something. What was it? A spoon?
I had a spoon.
Oh, must have been from Taco Bell. Unlock and let Miss Ruthie in. It was a spoon from Taco Bell, wasn't it?
Spoon.
I'll let you have the recordings.
Well, some guy was looking like he was trying to pull out, so I didn't want to get behind his car and bother him.
Just picked up a man at Taco Bell that fell.
Yeah, he accidentally fell on the ground. Full force. That poor man.
He slipped on the ice, but he tripped over the concrete step coming up.
So we helped pick him
He
up.
was an elderly man.
Yeah, so we helped pick him up, brought him
Not
into
that
the.
I'm not elderly, but
We brought him into the store. Just let the store know they were really good about it. It was no problem. A guy's probably not even gonna report it, but just it's always good to if you fall, just in case.
because you could chip a bone or something. You don't know it till you get home and start feeling terrible.
And a lot of times companies just like to know in general, in case, example, they just like to know to keep everybody safe. But it was no big deal. So But I felt sorry for the gentleman.
Yeah, I felt sorry for him too.
I always feel sorry when older people fall. So, oh my goodness, guys. So, you can see now our beautiful snow has turned into this big, beautiful gray. See, this is the thing of snow, right?
Yeah,
You
once
get
it gets
this-
muddy and dirty, it looks terrible.
You get this new stuff. It's called half snow, half dirt. And this is what happens at the end of the year when it snows. It's not a lovely sight.
There's nobody at Pizza Hut yet. I don't
No.
think they open at 11 either. So.
It's still really early too.
I'll tell you, that's the only
It's
thing.
only what, 10:30.
Yeah, that's the only thing that burns me.
It burns.
Being a farmer, you're up at 3 and 5 in the morning, even on the weekends, and you can't even. You're eating breakfast by usually 3 or 4 or 5 in the morning. Even being a backyard farmer like us. And if you go to town, nothing's open till 10 or 11 o'clock. You can't get lunch until 11 o'clock.
I know, and the stores aren't open
Most of the
early.
time, when you get up and eat breakfast at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, you're ready to eat lunch by 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Exactly.
And nothing's even open to use. So that's what gets a little bit perturbing.
And the other thing is you got to ride 1,000,000 miles anytime you want something.
Yeah, well, we have to go 20 miles to the big...
To the big city of Auburn, which is really a tiny little city, but it's
a nice community.
a nice little community.
You could live in the outskirts and still feel like you're in the country.
The thing about the city of Auburn, from being around, is everybody in that area is like what I would call content. It's not like a place where everybody's like really in competition with each other about fashion or anything. They're just all laid back, which is nice. It's a nice city. You know, so it's a good city to be close to rural environment. Where Oswego's college town, Syracuse is more up, and then Rochester's.
Well, Syracuse is a college town too.
Yeah, Syracuse is a college town. That's true too. So, anyway, this is what it looks like after the beautiful white fluffy snow, and it's starting to.
Yeah, it was beautiful a week ago.
Yeah.
Now it looks so gross and grungy.
And it'll get nastier and nastier until
Well,
it's gone.
as it melts and the grass starts greening up, it'll be. We need the water anyway, so.
Yeah, it'll look chunky for a while, and then all of a sudden it'll start springing up, and the beauty will begin. So, but you know, this is what New York looks like, and this has been a super mild winter. Like we hardly have any snow.
I'm not complaining.
Oh yeah, this is like we didn't even have winter this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had like a couple weeks of that of real snow. But so if you look at our videos from last year, you'll see the difference in the snow. It's kind of really funny because we hardly got any snow at all this year. I've never remember a winter like this. Do you? We have never had this little bit of snow. This is like the first snowfall, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what we got.
That's pretty much what we got. Maybe
we got a little bit here and there, but we didn't get.
Usually we get hammered.
Usually we get 3-4 feet of snow within a couple of weeks.
Hey, look at Onondaga Coach is out this way.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the counties around here is Onondaga. There was a lot of Indian reservations, and in fact, there's a big Indian reservation.
My mother grew up. My mother grew up next to the Onondaga.
Oh,
Indian
did she?
Reservation, yeah.
We had friends that lived on the reservation, but then they moved off the reservation. They was like a mom and a dad, and they actually had like 10 little Indian children. You know, they were from the reservation.
My grandmother was from the
Native American.
Was from the Mohawk tribe.
Oh, was she? So there's a lot of Indian. There's not so much here though. I mean, there's I think more towards Syracuse you get more of the Indian stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
I think so.
But out
because
here,
my grandmother was out from Jordan way.
This is the country, but you have farms throughout New York State, but not as much farming, and it's like pockets. Like this whole area up towards Canada is farming more. And as you get closer to the city, you get the suburbs. You know, you get the country, the suburbs, and then the cities. So, but for the most part, New York is pretty much suburbs and cities, but there's a couple pockets of country, I guess. And we have Amish up here too, and Mennonites up in our area. but the trees don't have anything. Hey, you know what? I'm looking up there at that sumac. Not all sumac is poisonous. We were talking about that the other day. You can make tea out of some of it, huh? The red is not poisonous, correct?
Right.
And you can actually make tea out of it, which I'm not too quick to make poison. I call it poison sumac. Sumac
It's
tea.
not called poison sumac. It's called sumac.
Sumac tea, but I guess some people love it.
It's bitter. It's like a lemonade. You can make a lemonade out of it too.
So, but
Sumac lemonade.
But some people do that. I like to try new things, but some things I just.
I'm not.
I'm well, like remember the
I
time.
would trust it, but I'm not going to use it.
Remember
Put it that way.
remember the time I made you dandelion salad?
Yes, but you used all the old dandelions. When you make dandelion salad, you get the dandelion leaves before they get flowers on them.
So we did have
When
dandelion.
the snow first melts and the dandelions start coming up through the grass, that's when you pick the leaves while they're sweet and tender. Not after they have a flower on them, because then they're bitter and nasty.
And Clay did eat.
And Ruthie thought she was doing me a favor, because my mother used to make dandelion salad when I was growing up. But she didn't go pick the old dandelion leaves with the yellow dandelions. Even though the rabbits love that. Rabbits love dandelions, the flower and the bitter leaves.
But those are things that you try different things. But I don't like to try things I'm not sure about because you never know. I had to fix my car seat. Sorry, we're at a green light, so. But anyway, that's the story. I guess we're gonna go home and
Set up another brooder, because I don't think that one is going to be big enough for it's going to be big enough for the 70 chicks. I think we have to break them up into 33 or so chicks a brooder.
and to go along with our channel topic in general, suburb girl marrying a country boy. I have a ton of housework because we've been ramming the roads. So I still have my PR work to do this week. I have laundry, dishes, farming, cleaning. I mean, it's like insane. And plus, because of Clay's sleep schedule, so it's like, wow. But I will admit that when we came home yesterday, I was beat tired and I ended up crocheting all night because Clay bought me some yarn, but the cotton yarn. But I guess I say that because we have our farming stuff to do, plus my other work. But it makes for a happy life. What is it? Happy wife?
Happy life. Happy wife, happy life.
There you go. So, okay, guys. We did miss church this week. And,
But I had to take those. We had to buy heat bulbs yesterday, and they were the red heat bulbs. And red heat bulbs, the only thing good for red heat bulbs are that the chicks don't pick each other. But the chicks won't pick each other until they get about a month old and they start getting feathers. Then they pick each other's feathers if they're too confined and too small of a brooder. And what they'll do is they'll draw blood. And once they draw blood, they're like the older chickens. They just keep pecking at it until they kill the bird that's bleeding. So that's the only good thing about red brood lamps, is that everything is red and they don't pick at the one that's bleeding. But the red brood lamps in my brooder didn't bring the temperature up where I wanted it, not like a clear heat bulb. And they were so dark you couldn't see any of the chicks in the brooder. So we're going to go with a clear bulb. I've never used the red bulbs before. Yesterday was the first I bought them because they didn't have any clear. So we had to go to Walmart and get a clear heat bulb. You can't use a floodlight bulb, you need a heat bulb, because you got to have them chicks at 95 degrees when they first come home.
so those are the issues.
So those were some of the issues we had this morning that I couldn't deal with.
Well, because of his sleep
night.
schedule, we have to watch because he has to.
And I have to do all this today because the chicks are coming either Wednesday or Thursday. And they'll be at the post office, and I'll have to take and tell them at work I've got to leave when I get my call
to get his checks.
to go pick up my chicks. And it takes me a half an hour to drive from work to the post office. That's how far away I work from town.
And we'll keep you guys along for the ride so you can see all that's going on.
And we'll do a video when we bring the chicks home and unbox them and take a look at them. And
And I've never seen a banning chick, I don't think. Have
They're
I?
about half the size of a normal chick.
So I'm excited about
Normal
it.
chicks are about this high. I'd say 3 inches high. And a banny chick is about 1.5 inches to 2 inches high, depending on the breed.
So they're kind of like little chicken tenders?
Yeah, chicken tenders. You dip them in batter and deep fry
No, they're chicks. So I'm excited because I love animals. So of course this is like a huge thing.
Now
for me.
people are always worried about the chicks being shipped in the mail. Now with chickens, when they hatch, they have all the yolk absorbed into their abdomen when they peck through the shell, and that yolk will keep them nourished for usually 48 hours. Now sometimes when you get your chicks in the mail, if you want to order your chicks from a nearby hatchery so that they don't have so far to travel and they can get there like overnight, because chicks are fine as long as they're warm and have that yolk in their abdomen to keep them nourished.
You want happy chicks.
But if you order them too far away, which sometimes you have to if depending on the breed of chicks you want or the prices and all that, so you take a chance of having a third day. So as soon as you get those chicks home, you want to make sure you dip their bill in some water and get them hydrated, and then sprinkle the feed down on the floor of the brooder so they can learn to pick and eat. And you want to keep your eye on them for the first two to 3 days. Make sure everybody's getting plenty of food and water. Make sure nobody's sitting in a corner or laying under the heat lamp and not getting what they're supposed to. You want to make sure you keep an eye on them.
Plus we are a little.
Because once they get through the third day, usually you don't have any problems with the chickens.
But we keep ours, and I don't know, a lot of people probably wouldn't do it, but we keep ours in the house with me.
Keep them right in.
Because I like to watch them for the first week just to make sure they all make
they're
it.
They're in a tote anyway, so it's not like they're going to have a mess in the house.
Oh, you can keep cleaning it too.
The only thing I'm worried about is Mr. Kitty.
Well, I'm there too with them. With
Mr.
anti-kitty.
Mr. Kitty is going to have anti-kitty to keep him back away from them babies.
Which is a spray bottle with water if he gets too aggressive. He'll be okay.
He's learning.
He likes to jump on the TV when we have birds, and he learned from watching cat TV with me. He's not allowed to jump on the television. He can look at them, but he can't jump on it. But
It'll take him a couple of shots before
he realizes.
he'll just set up on top of it and watch the babies walk around. He can't get in there, so.
And when we say night night, he always jumps in the bed with us anyway. We go night night, and he runs through the house, huh?
Yeah.
And what did he do this morning that was funny? I came in, Clay was showering, and I look outside the door. The cat is laying outside waiting for Clay to get done with his shower. he waits for Clay. Clay's laughing.
He's your cat.
Well, he loves you though, Clay. He won't go to night night. If I go to bed and Clay's not there, he has to look for Clay.
He'll sit out there at my feet like a dog and wait for me to go to bed.
It's like when you get a dog and the daddy doesn't want it, and then the dog hangs out with the dad all day.
The dog always hangs out, and the cat always hangs out with the person that likes them the least. I don't hate cats and I don't hate dogs, but I'm not a dog or a cat lover. I have always liked birds from the time I was little.
But our cat is like a dog. He does tricks
I've
a little.
always wanted chickens from the time I was 6 or 7 years old. I've always been fascinated with the birds. And I asked my dad if I could have some, and he said no. Not until you can afford to buy them and feed them. And I always thought, oh, that was so mean. But then I got a job at the school through the Summer Youth Corps, and when I was 13, and I got my paycheck, and there was an ad in the paper for white leghorn chickens, the white egg layers that you get the eggs like at the store. And they were $1 a piece. So I asked my dad if I could have some. And he said, sure. I'll take you right there to go get them. So he took me, and I bought 20 of the white leghorns, and he took me to the feed store, and I bought a bag of mash and a bag of scratch feed. And I've had chickens ever since.
And he loves his chicken.
I went 1 year without them when I first moved over where we're at right now on the Pople Backyard Farm.
BR, before Ruthie.
Before Ruthie. Much before Ruthie. And I kept waking up in the middle of the night, forgot to feed the chickens. Didn't have any chickens. So I had to go get some material and build a barn out back. And that's what the barn you see that
Oh,
in
you
our
built
videos.
that whole barn?
Yes, I built
I didn't know that.
It's all out of scrap lumber too.
Oh, cool. Well, see, I learned something too. I'm always learning something from Clay.
So I worked at Comstocks, and they had an old building and fence they tore down. It was all pressure treated lumber, and they had a big pile of it. And back then, you used to be able to bid on stuff that they were going to get rid of. And I paid $50 for the whole pile of pressure treated lumber and built a barn with it.
Oh, cool.
So the barn you see out back that we go in and feed the chickens and collect eggs, I did that all my own after I kept waking up in the middle of the night forgetting to feed the chickens. And that was probably 15 years ago.
Probably longer than that.
No, I moved into that residence in 1995, and I built the barn in 1996.
Oh, okay.
So it's been built
about 20 years. 19. Look at me, I'm such a pain in the butt. Okay, guys, so we're running.
Wow, this heat in this van is something else.
Yeah, this van is great for heat. Oh, this place here used to sell potatoes.
This is where we used to get our potatoes and onions, but now it looks like they're just a storage for boats and winter storage for stuff like that.
Yeah, so, well, stick around, guys. Like, subscribe. There's all kinds of good things coming up. It's going to be, as you can see, it's starting up, I'm sure.
We're going to have bird auctions and vegetable auctions we'll be going to, and we'll take you along for the ride.
And we love watching all your videos too, guys. That's a highlight of our lives. We feel like you guys are our family. So, like, subscribe, please share this video, and we will see you in our next YouTube. God bless.